Welcome to Rich on the Road Across America.
Well, we just crossed over our 5th state line into Arizona. Right now I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona with my buddy Glenn Frey. Because we all know it's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford. We're in the Petrified National Forest, and these are some petrified pieces of wood. In case you ever wondered how this land was even created, it took many years. Originally, this was a lush green forest with rivers. Then there was a large volcanic event that knocked all the woods down. Volcanic ash fell on top of that, and then sediment settled on top of that. That sat for years and years, and as water flowed over top of that, the silica, calcite, and quartz seeped down, got into the cells of the wood and replaced those cells, and eventually the wood became petrified rock underneath the ash and sediment. Eventually, tectonic plates came in and pushed up and exposed what was underground. Then, through erosion of wind and water, it washed all the dirt away and left that petrified rock, and the sturdier parts of the underground is what created these canyons. It's hard to believe this is stone and not wood. This is my first sighting of otherworldly landscapes, and I know there's a whole lot more to come. This is gorgeous. Can anybody tell me what planet I'm on? It's time for the Arizona installment of Knievel Corner. In 1966, Evel Knievel jumped over 10 Dodge cars in Tucson, Arizona on a Norton motorcycle, and he made a successful jump. In 1968, he jumped in Scottsdale, Arizona on a Bonneville T120. He was jumping over 13 cars, he wrecked, and he broke his leg and fractured his foot. And finally, in 1972, in Tucson, Arizona, he jumped over 12 cars and 3 vans on a Harley-Davidson XR 750, and he made the jump perfectly. I'm standing on the western edge of the Grand Canyon. This is the Grand Canyon West Skywalk. It's a 70-foot U-shaped cantilevered bridge that hovers 4,000 feet above the canyon floor. The 10-foot wide bridge is made up of 5 layers of tempered glass that are nearly 3 inches thick. The construction started in 2005 and was completed in 2007. This area of the canyon is known as Eagle Point. It was named by the indigenous people because the rocks create a natural formation of what appears to be an eagle with its wings spread. The video of me announcing that we're at the Grand Canyon was taken right there. The park ranger here at the bridge just informed me that the crack in the cliff face is a fault in the rock, and they expect the entire section to fall into the canyon floor within the next 3 to 5 years. So when you come visit, it may not be here. And in more modern days, people say that they see a dog laying on this ridge. You can see that his head is facing left with his rear haunches to the right. And if you're wondering what has him so focused, he's staring at a small toy ball. To get a sense of scale, the river is a mile below me and 2 miles away from me. If I were to have a zip line from the bridge to that little island, the cable would be 2.5 miles long. For more perspective, that's a helicopter. That's why pictures and video can never do justice to just the scope and the scale of this gorgeous, beautiful, magical place. This is just fantastic. This area is known as Guano Point. It's about 1.5 miles north of the Sky Bridge. In case you don't know what guano is, it's bat poop. This is the housing for a motorized tram car that would carry people and guano across the canyon. The U.S. Guano Corporation mined guano out of a cave on the south side of the canyon in the 1950s. And here you can see a support for the cable and the cable car. It was used for fertilizer originally, and later for cosmetics in England. I don't know if I want to smear some bat poop on my face, but whatever. Then it went across the other side to the cave that held the bat guano. Then they'd haul it back across in big tram totes. Back up to here. Then they drop it into a big dump truck, drive it around this corner, and take it back to town. Unfortunately, they overestimated the amount of guano in the caves and eventually went out of business. Another reason for their failure, a U.S. military jet actually flew into the tramway in the 1960s and damaged it. Tell me if this is close enough to the edge for you. We're at the highest vista of Guano Point. It's a pyramid-shaped hill of rock that overlooks a bend in the Colorado River. It makes for a fantastic view if you're willing to climb the boulders. What better place to do Arizona trivia than right on the edge of the Grand Canyon, looking down at the Colorado River. For some funny town names, they have Santa Claus, Y, Three-Way, I didn't make these up, and Mazutzal is the hard one to pronounce. Famous people born in Arizona are Steven Spielberg, Stevie Nicks, and Charles Barkley. Hey guys, I gotta confess something. I got to the Grand Canyon and I forgot to take my notes with me. So I called on my phone and said, give me 3 famous people from Arizona. It said Steven Spielberg, Stevie Nicks, and Charles Barkley. Well, guess what? Steven Spielberg and Charles Barkley have nothing to do with Arizona. So let me tell you about Linda Ronstadt, Stevie Nicks, and Joe Jonas. They're all from Arizona. And by the way, Stevie Nicks had an impact on my youth. We'll just leave it there. So that should make the corrections. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. The rattlesnake is still the most dangerous animal in this region. Also, Arizona is the site of the very first McDonald's drive-thru. And finally, for state trivia, Arizona is the only state in the union that doesn't have daylight savings time. I wish we would take that. I like that. But with all that, who cares? This is the best thing in Arizona. Just behind the Skybridge building, they have an interesting display of indigenous housing structures. This is a wickiup. It's not a teepee, it's a wickiup. It is trunks of cedar trees, and they make sure that the curve kind of goes outward or outward for that way, so that the rain or water would slope away from the living area inside. They take this structure on the inside and cover it with the evergreen limbs of the cedar tree that helps repel the water. A whole family would live in here at once. The floor would be covered with animal skins, but they'd raise an entire family in there, cook, live, sleep. Oh, it's a rough life. Not for me. This is a traditional sweat lodge. Same structure as the wickiup, except the outside is packed with mud or dirt. And then they have a little entranceway here to get in. 4 to 6 people would enter. They would heat up stones on a fire, stick it in the middle of the structure, and then they pour water over the top of that, and it would cause steam inside the mud-packed sides of the wall. This was supposed to help them become closer to their creator. It was all a spiritual and ceremonial purposes. It's not that large. And if you're in here with 4 to 6 hot, sweaty men for a long time, I'm sure you got pleasant in here. This is a traditional Navajo house. It's called a hogan, and it's made out of pine wood. It's all stacked. None of it is nailed or connected in any way. It's just stacked wood they find. And they don't use any tree that has ever been struck by lightning. Supposedly the lightning takes the spirit out of whatever structure that it strikes, and they won't use the wood for it. So they pack the wood around to create the structure, then they cover it all with mud and clay, and the opening always faces east, because they believe that the morning brings all new good things to you, and they want the opening of their house and welcome that same positive energy. This is much larger and much nicer than the other housing structure that we looked at first, and it's all wood on the inside. It's really neat. It's much, much cooler than outside. It's pretty big and spacious, so I guess they could have bigger families. This is another form of a sweat lodge. It's made out of willow limbs. It is bound together like twine with banana yucca, and then they put what's called arrowweed around it for strength and structure. But this is the understructure of a sweat lodge. Then again, they come back and pack it with mud and clay from the surrounding area, and they put the hot coals inside. It's a much smaller structure, but because of the understructure underneath it, it's been determined that it's a much stronger building against wind and the elements. And this is a Hopi tribe house. And the biggest noticeable difference is it's made out of stone. They would go out and quarry stone, bring it in, stack it, of course pack mud into it, and it allowed them to make these kind of modular homes. They could come through, tear it down and carry it to another location they needed to, or they could tear down a wall and expand the houses. That was a very common thing. They also would paint these bright colors to reflect the heat of the sun and to make it a beautiful part of the landscape. Here you can see the whitewash of the walls that they would do. They've got a little fireplace in the corner, and a little oven on this side with a chimney above it. And here you can see the exposed roof.
I may be poor, but I'm rich on the road across America.
It was at this moment that Nathan knew.
This is the entrance to my campground tonight. Tell me that's not beautiful.